to get B group to behave. There, oh, mercy. Okay, A group, you're at home. You should be watching this video. This is the review for your test. Your test, A group, is on Monday. B group, your test is Tuesday. I just got rude. Today is not the day.
Since when it gets distracted by the outside dump trucks.
There's dump trucks. It's lots of fun excitement happening. I can't help it. There's nothing happening today. There's lameness out there happening today, and lameness in here happening today too. I don't know where my mouse is. All right, test. We have a test tomorrow. I did not leave the specific heat stuff up long enough for the B group yesterday, so I will leave that up for them a little bit while they were here. No, you will have a test. B group will have their test on Tuesday. Tomorrow is Saturday. I'm not going to be here tomorrow. You're going to be here tomorrow because you're going to be watching film.
No, I ain't.
Just kidding.
No, I ain't.
10 o'clock in the morning.
I'm doing nothing tomorrow.
I have a play date with my kids. Oh, for student council. Yeah. Yeah. I have a play date tomorrow morning with a kid from my kids' class at the park, but I think it's gonna be cold. So I don't know what we're doing. Matter! Anything that occupies space and has masses. What makes up stuff, and gravity is the thing that causes stuff to have weight. Those are really awful definitions. I can't see this.
I don't want to be part of that.
Girl. Oh, I was like, man, I can't see it. There's such a glare. I can't even read the words. I didn't have the words up there.
This looks so much better now.
It does look nice. I am liking it. Hey, you. Thank you. I just snapped at you. I'm sorry. Polaroid.
Well, I'm glad I was invited.
Huh.
Thank you.
I like it. Polaroid. Yes, I do love it. I'm not a fan of these wires. I am going to trip, or I'm going to catch something on fire.
Honestly, I hope you do. I'm just kidding.
Please write him up. Please write him up.
Elements, a substance composed of only one type of atom. Oh, maybe I could trip, and then I could like
sue the school.
Submit it to like America's Funniest Home Videos or something, and then I could be gone. And then you could like, I could sue the school, and then you could go to Stacy Kania High School.
Oh my goodness, I actually would.
And our colors would be pink and purple sparkles.
You'd probably fail me every year, so I'll go there.
I'm not failing you because I don't want to have you next year.
Crap.
We had this talk already. Elements, a substance that is composed of only one type of atom. Actually, what I do want to say is I don't fail anybody, but they do fail themselves. So, for example, right. So I give you, and I'm taking a time out that you really need to listen for real right now. It's in math break because this is a serious time. For real, yeah, serious. I'm being serious. So for real in this class, this test is going to be hard. It's going to be harder than the last one. So if you did well on the last one, double your study time, and you might do about the same on that one. Chapter 3, a lot of you will probably fail. Hopefully we'll all be back together so that you don't have to watch the videos, but chapter 3 is really, really hard. But I know that it's hard, and so I make sure that you have enough points so that even if you're not doing awesome on the test, as long as you're doing your homework on time, as long as you're filling your notes in on time, as long as you're not totally bombing the vocabulary quizzes, you're going to pass the class. Really? So you need, and if you're watching those videos, I will talk to you when we're done. Okay. So make sure that you're doing that stuff because again, really, even if you're really not good at taking tests, I made the class so that you will be able to pass if you put in the work. So please put in the work so that you can pass. Okay. I know not all of you need biology for whatever career you're planning to go for. And I know that the level that I teach this because of the keystones is not the level that you're going to need biology. You're not going to need to know all of the biochemistry stuff, but you have to know it for the keystones. Okay. Any questions on that?
I have a question.
Do your stuff.
Are they going to make me take the biology keystone again?
I have not heard yet. They did send us stuff, so I have a lab aide who asked if he had to take it again. They did send an email or something to Mr. Robinson and Mrs. Harold asking for what kids needed to retake it. So I think the kids who were supposed to retake in May are maybe gonna retake in December.
I didn't pass last year either. I know
Right.
I didn't.
I know. So you might be on that list. I don't know yet though.
I'm just gonna guess again.
Did that happen at the same time?
They do. There's still a whole bunch of legislation up as far as what is required for graduation because we had to shut down last year. Yeah, so there's that thing too, right? So like if you're proficient on 2 plus you get this combined score, then you can not pass one.
Something like that. I got proficient on both of my other ones.
Yeah, you might be okay. I'll have to look at your numbers. Actually, I don't have all your numbers. I don't have access to that. Even though you're my lab aide, I don't have you in my roster. So I can't access your stuff, but Mrs. Harold or Mr. Rob could get that stuff for you. Okay? All right. Good. Atom's smallest thing that acts like that thing. So the smallest thing that acts like carbon is an atom of carbon. The smallest thing that acts like oxygen is an atom of oxygen. And atoms are made up of positive protons, neutrons, and negative electrons. Ugh! I just heard another really funny chemistry joke that you're not going to think is funny, but I think it's hilarious. But I forget what it was. I have to look it up. Inside of the nucleus of an atom are the protons and the neutrons. And then orbiting the nucleus are the electrons. And remember, even though we draw it like this, they kind of act a little bit more like insects moving around a flame. The atomic number is the number of protons. So if it has 6 protons, it's carbon. If it has 7 protons, I forget, I think it's nitrogen. If it has 8 protons, it's oxygen. I'm not going to go look right now. But it is how many protons it has. We have the symbol, the name, and then the atomic weight, or we can call it the atomic mass number, or the average atomic mass. And we get that number from all of the isotopes of that atom. So carbon can exist in different forms. Some of the forms of carbon have 6 protons. Some of the forms of carbon have 7 protons. Some of the forms of carbon have 8 protons. So they are all going to have different numbers of protons. We average all of that. I just lied. I just said real bad. That was not right. Some of the types of carbon have 6 neutrons. Some of them have 7 neutrons. Some of them have 8 neutrons. And we take all of those neutrons and average it together to see what the average atomic mass is. The number of protons does not change. The electrons, again, are orbiting. For our purposes, there's 2 in the first, 8 in all of the other ones. In reality, that is not how it works, but for now, that's what's going to work. A compound is when we add 2 or more of those atoms together in a fixed ratio. So if we have 2 hydrogens and 1 oxygen, it's water. The only thing I don't like about this screen is you can't see it very well on my camera. Mr. Rob gave me, well, I told you guys, in my homeroom.
You could move it back and put it on that table.
I could, but that's not the angle that I need. Because I like it this angle. Because I like it to be on this side, because this is my side.
That's good.
And if I do decide to bring my ring light in,
Oh, jeez.
Professional.
Mr. Rob gave me this, but I don't know how to use it yet.
I'm sure.
It's a webcam, but I don't know where to put it. Because I have to like put it over here, but then you're just going to see the side. Oh, yeah.
Or you could put it on
I
laptop.
No, but I can't move my laptop because I need my laptop plugged into my desktop so that it plugs into
Yeah, but
this.
if you take the webcam and put it on top of the desktop, you can take the TV and turn it this way, so then that way the webcam's facing the TV and you.
But then I have to teach to the softball field.
She's worried about her side. Don't worry.
No, it's not that bad. I kind of like both sides, so
Unless if you get a whole nother laptop.
I might go get another laptop
I
from
was gonna say,
Mr.
just get a whole
Coach
nother
Georgie's
laptop and set it up
place.
right there.
Pointless.
and do it there.
Just bring your setup over to this desk.
I can't
Why?
because the plugs are all over here.
So I'm sure.
I don't know if you can see this mess.
Yes.
We're taking a field trip. If you can see this mess of wires that is happening.
That hurts my head.
It hurts my head too. I have a kid coming in on Monday and he's gonna like put him up there. Can you see that stuff now? He's gonna like run him through and run him down.
Yeah, you should tell that kid to run him down and over and this desk.
We'll work on it.
Or just get a
Or the laptop. I can
Or an
take one.
iPad or something.
I don't know. Chemical bonds are when atoms are going to be attracted to each other. What time is this class over? Okay. Carbon has 4 atoms in its outer shell. Therefore, it can bond with up to 4 things. Chapter 3, we talk all about carbon and how carbon bonds. If 2 atoms are sharing electrons, we call it a covalent bond. What did you learn today from your vocabulary quiz about covalent bonds?
They're strengthy.
They're strong. They're what?
Strengthy.
They're strengthy, right? Because valent means strength. They are strengthy. They are strong types of bonds. So yeah, they are a very strong type of bond. And we talked about how they share electrons, but that's on another slide. In ionic bonds, one atom takes an electron from another, forming an ion. So this is chlorine. It steals an electron from sodium to make salt. Energy is the ability to do work. Ooh. And then we talked about how energy can be converted from one form to the other. It's okay, I'm sorry you dropped your pencil. All atoms are constantly in motion, so whenever you have a solid, the molecules are tightly compacted together and they are just kind of vibrating back and forth. And then when it becomes a liquid, because I've added energy to it, then it's going to start to roll over top of each other and they're a little farther apart. And then whenever I have a gas, they really just bounce off of each other. They are not attracted to each other at all. What's the one exception to this? When something goes from a liquid to a solid, it gets closer. What's the one exception?
Oh.
What was it?
What's the one exception to the everything when it goes from a liquid to a solid, the atoms get closer together?
Sublimation.
No, but that's a good word. Kind of. What sublimates?
The space.
No, sublimate. What is sublimation?
Isn't that
From a gas to a liquid.
That's a gas to a solid, isn't it? Or
It's a
solid to
solid to a gas, and we normally think of it in the form of what? What does it? The answer's on the board. Ice, water, right. So everything on this planet, when it goes from a liquid to a solid, the molecules get closer together with the exception of water. So when water freezes, the space between the water molecules is going to get bigger. We'll look at that again in 1 second. Reactions, we know that the reactants are on the left, the products are on the right, and then we had this picture talking about enzymes, and if you remember, this man has to push this boulder all the way to the top up there before the reaction can take place. The enzyme was like the bulldozer that comes along, and that bulldozer comes along and knocks down the hill, so it knocks down how much energy he has to expend before the reaction can start. The bulldozer can be used over and over and over again. That nothing changes about the man, nothing changes about the boulder, nothing changes about the products. The only thing that changes is the hill, how much energy had to go into that reaction. Oxidation reduction reactions, here's where I wanted to be next. So polar and nonpolar, in a covalent bond, sometimes the atoms share electrons equally. We call that a nonpolar covalent bond. And the only thing that does that are the lipids. So the fats, waxes, grease, oil, they are all nonpolar. They cannot be dissolved in things that are polar, like sugar and water. Things that are polar are sharing electrons, but they are sharing them unequally. So there is a partial negative side to water and a partial positive side to water. Oh, something else. There it is. Wait.
It's
Ah!
on the board.
Pardon?
Never mind.
It's on my board. Okay. And that's all the stuff that I just said. Hydrogen bonding is that special type of bond that we only find between water molecules. So that was your vocab quiz bonus number 2. The people at home already took it, so they know. And those hydrogen bonding of water does things like cause water to hold to other water. That's called cohesion. It creates surface tension on top of that water. That's why it hurts when you do a belly flop. That's why if you were to fall off of a really tall bridge or go like cliff diving, if you don't enter the water properly, it's like you're hitting concrete.
Don't you have to like do a pencil dive if you want to jump?
Have you ever
Yeah.
done that and then you like think, oh.
Your thing?
Never mind.
Bungee jumping? I don't know what you're talking about. Cliff?
Yeah.
Well, I
What?
wish your
Fell
bathing
off.
suit fell off.
When I went cliff diving?
No.
Or
Like,
any
he said
time.
Have you ever jumped off a thing and like your stuff fell off?
No, but I have 2 small children that just hang on me, so that's not always fun.
I got a question. Is
Mm.
Well, that happened to me, so.
You're giving me that look.
I know, because I'm real scared right now. Actually, let me finish this real quick because you need to start speaking. Okay.
Is there a thing where you can bungee jump off a bridge into water and then they come up rope?
I have not heard of that.
I think I've seen it before.
Yeah.
Bungee jump
Adhesion.
off a bridge.
Adhesion is when water holds on to something else and it creates capillary action. Again, here's the specific heat. I'm coming back to that in a second, so we got to get done. The specific heat of water means that it takes a lot of energy to change the temperature of water. And then that water is going to hold on to its energy. So it's going to do things like stabilize places that are near the coast, that climate. It's going to, because the hydrogen bonding of water, whenever a pond freezes, the space between the water molecules is going to get larger. So it makes that water less dense, and that ice is going to float. And then because of the high specific heat of water, it's going to help insulate the rest of the pond. If for some reason you don't get these notes, if you go onto the Google slide or to the PowerPoint slide, for some reason it's coming up that this text is white on the Google slide. So if you change the text color, you'll be able to see it as well. And here's what we said about water. I told you I'll come back. A solution is a mixture where one or more substances are going to be distributed. The solute is the thing being dissolved in the solvent. The concentration is how much solute is in the solvent. And then we looked at acids and bases. Remember that acids are closer to 0, bases are closer to 14, neutral is about 7. Acids are going to release hydrogen ions in solution, bases release hydroxyl ions. And anytime you go from one to the next, and this might have not been on your slide yesterday, or your thing yesterday, it goes from a factor of 10. So 14 to 13 is 10, like 10 times more basic. 12 to 14 would be 10 times 10, which is 100. If it were 11 to 14, it'd be 10 times 10 times 10, or 1,000. Okay, so every time it goes between numbers, it's a 10-fold increase or decrease. And anytime I have something that's super acidic and I add something basic, so I have stomach acid in my esophagus, and then I add milk of magnesia or Tums, it's called a buffer. It's going to help make that less acidic. Any questions in here?
No.
Okay, I'm going to go back to the, do you need this one first? The specific heat slides?
Yeah.
A group, I'm going to sign off from you. I will see you on Monday when you have your test. Have a good weekend. Make good choices.